Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of Journey of Wrestling. We are BWC, the company, and we are going to be on the path to D-Day, which is the first event of the year after All Out War, which was the big event that we did last episode. So we will get into that, but first, I just wanted to talk about a few of the other companies, the competitors in this world. So this is ASW, stands for All Star Wrestling, and they're basically the biggest competitor. They're a new sort of company that was founded by a lot of other older wrestlers that felt like they were not being booked the way they liked, so they went and founded their own company, which is ASW. People like Zacotes and Chris Duval, like I said, he was in the faction with Frank the Great Flores and Felix Frost. He is now in this company as one of the founding members. And Nate Cruz is he's kind of like the star of this company. He is said to be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time compared to Frank Flores, and he is one of the head stars of this company. Right now, Miles Flash is the world champion, which is kind of weird because he is not one of the most popular wrestlers. So I feel like he'll lose that at some point soon. But yeah, that's kind of random. Okay, RTW. This is like a more technical, uh, in-ring focus company. It's a little bit older. One of the oldest companies still around today. Very technical focused. Not as much as the entertainment side. Then USAW. This is a U.S. based company. They only operate in the United States and Canada. Smaller, very smaller time sort of indie thing. CWA, the Christian Wrestling Alliance. This is a Christian wrestling company. So whatever they do, I don't know. They do something related to Christianity and their wrestling arena. Okay, MMW. This is a Mexican wrestling luchador company. So they have some of the best luchadors here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. PPW. This is like this is a comedy company. It stands for Pigpen Wrestling. So a lot of these in here just like comedy character type things. And okay, PGW. This is sort of a smaller time, just indie. Nothing really crazy about that. Okay, then JSAW. This is Japanese Samoan Alliance Wrestling. So this is like Japanese and Samoan wrestlers formed their own company based in Japan. So that is that. Those are all the other companies. Alright, so starting off the first episode of Battlefield after All Out War, once again leading to D-Day, we have a tag team match starting us off. We have White and Black versus Empire Elite. This is a tag match. Black and White are going to win this one. Okay. Now we have a solo feud promo with Alvaro Rage. He's talking to Shane Montana, who just won the championship. So, and he is not here right now. I don't. He just didn't show up to work. I don't know why, which is pretty weird, pretty odd actually. All right. So next up we have Felix Frost versus Jacob Fez. Jacob Fez is in the Vultures faction, and Felix Frost just got off a loss from Jason Flores. So let's see. He wins this match. This is against a lower rank opponent. All right, next up we have Randy Flowers versus Grant Wolf. Now Randy Flowers is he's kind of an in-betweener. Right now he's a face, but he goes from face to heel a lot. And Grant Wolf, he is in the Garden of Thorns faction with Malachi Thorne. He's sort of an older wrestler that Malachi Thorne is giving a second chance and trying to give him a second chance in his career nearing the end. But Randy Flowers wins. All right, and then after Randy Flowers wins, he's celebrating his win, and Alpha comes out and attacks him. He he just beats him up out of nowhere. Alpha is clearly mad because Alpha just lost his United States Championship to Nick Steele. So they have a heat promo. This is the Wolfpack. Alpha is probably very frustrated that he lost to Nick Steele. And then Razorblade steps up and does some smack talk to Nick Steele. You know, maybe Alpha is going to move on from the United States. Maybe he'll focus on the World Championship or something. But Razorblade, his prodigy, is going to step up and call out Nick Steele and call him out for a match, possibly at D-Day. And then Black and White, the tag team that you saw at the beginning, they are in the Wolfpack. They are calling out the tag team champions, the Sharp Brothers, for a title match, possibly at D-Day. Alright, then we have the main... Finally, we have the main event. This is for the number one contendership to the World Championship at D-Day. So the winner of this will go to face Frank the Great Flores at D-Day. So we have Jason Flores, Landon Morgan, Patrick Peterson, and Dave England. Now this is a kind of a unique dynamic because Jason Flores and Patrick Peterson are in the same faction. They're both the Gladiators. And Landon Morgan, of course, just lost to Patrick Peterson, so they still have a little bit of rivalry there. So let's see who is going to win this. It is going to be a shocker. Dave England is going to pull out a surprise win. He's going to pin possibly Jason Flores when he's distracted dealing with his teammate and Landon Morgan. So Dave England is going to be the number one contender. Then after the match, we have a little bit of a scuffle between Jason Flores and Patrick Peterson. These guys in the Gladiators possibly having a power struggle for the leadership of this group because they are both very egotistical and think they are better than the others. So possibly a fight later on down the line. The scuffle is going to be won by Jason Flores. All right, here we are, week 2. All right, so we're starting off with a title match for the European Championship. We have German Giant versus Ricky Blackbear, and German Giant will retain. But afterwards, he will be Jason Flores will come out and do some smack talk on German Giant. Perhaps he wants to go after the European Championship. Alright, then we have a backstage confrontation between Randy Flowers and Alpha, because of course Alpha attacked Randy last week after his match. So they're going to have a little confrontation there. Okay. Now we have a match between Mark Sharp of one half of the Tag Team Champions versus Razorblade, who is in the Wolfpack. And who is going to win this one? Let's randomize. Razorblade wins. And then afterwards, Black and White are going to attack the Sharp Brothers after the match, which they are in the Wolfpack, and they are going after the tag team titles. Alright, then we have a 3v3 tag match. We have the Vultures versus Rage. These are two lower card factions here. We're going to randomize the winner, and Rage won. So perhaps Alvador Rage is going after Shane Montana's title, which he did not show up to work last week, so I'm kind of glad he lost. Better show up to work. Alright. We have a backstage attack. This is, yet again, Alpha is probably mad because Randy Flowers got his get back on him earlier the night, so he's going to attack him backstage, which is going to lead into a promo battle. Frank the Great Flores versus Dave England. Of course, they have their match scheduled for D-Day for the World Championship. And the main event, we have Jason the Barbarian Flores versus Randy Flowers. Now, Jason is doing this match to basically get a number one contendership for the European Championship. And Randy Flowers is kind of injured going into this match. He got attacked by Alpha backstage, so Jason is going to win and become the number one contender to the European Championship at D-Day. That's all for the show. Oh, what's going on here? He is demanding his title shot, so there we go. Alright, here we are, third and final week before D-Day, so we are starting off with a promo battle between Dave England and Frank Flores, who are fighting And some things I have not mentioned. Dave England, he's from England. He's a chubby fella from England. Frank the Great Flores, he is from the Netherlands, from Europe. So they're having a little clash right there. And then boom, surprise. Music hits. Marco Lazara return after main eventing All Out War comes out and attacks Dave England. He is clearly still upset that he lost to Frank Flores and wants another shot, but Dave England is the rightful #1 contender. So Marco Lazara, he still thinks he can beat Frank. He is calling him out yet again, but he needs to wait his turn because it is Dave England's turn at D-Day. All right, next up we have a match between Razorblade and Cody Duvall. Razorblade will win this match. Cody still gets a little bump though. And next we have Razorblade calling out Nick Steele officially for a shot at the U.S. Championship at D-Day. All right, now we have Lee War versus Malachi Thorne, and I'm going to randomize this one. Lee War won. Wow, that's a shocker right there. Malachi Thorne, leader of the Garden of Thorns. Okay, now we have a tag match: Thunder and Lightning versus Gladiators, Patrick Peterson and Cole Howard. Let's randomize this one as well. Wow, Thunder and Lightning, very, very big underdogs there, actually beat the Gladiators. They are not going to be happy about that. All right, then we have another Gladiator, Jason the Barbarian Flores, calling out or having a promo battle with German Giant. They are fighting for the European Championship next week or at the end of the month. All right, now we have the main event. This is Felix Frost versus Marco Lazara, two big-time names here. Marco Lazara returning after All Out War, and he wins. He beats Felix Frost, so that definitely puts him in line to have another shot at the title. And let's now get into D-Day. All right, here we are, D-Day 2000. This is the first event of the year, and for the opening match, we have for the European Championship, German Giant versus Jason the Barbarian Flores. German Giant is going in as the champion. He is the favorite to win, but there's a shocking upset, and Jason Flores beats German Giant for the European Championship. All right, next match is for the International Championship. It is Shane Montana versus Alvador Rage. Now Shane, he didn't show up to work for a few weeks, so I'm going to randomize this one. Anyone could win. Oh, and we have a new champion, Alvador Rage. That's why you show up to work, buddy. Alvador Rage wins, and he is the new international champion. We have two title changes right off the bat. Now we have a steel cage match, Alpha versus Randy Flowers. They have been going at it these past few weeks on Battleground. Alpha has been treating Randy Flowers quite unfairly, and Randy wants his revenge, but he does not get it. Alpha wins, defeats him in the cage. Next, we have a tag team match, the Sharp Brothers versus Black and White. Black and White are in the Wolf Pack, which is Alpha's faction. Let's see if they can pull off a win. Nope, Sharp Brothers win. Sharp Brothers retain their tag team titles. Next, we have another member of the Wolf Pack, Razorblade, going after the U.S. Championship. This championship was lost by Alpha. So let's see if Razorblade can win back the championship for the Wolf Pack. But no, Nick Steele retains. He is one of the top of this company right now, and he is going to continue his reign as the United States champion. Next, we have Landon Morgan versus Marco Lazara. Marco wants back at the world title scene, and he feels like a win against a veteran like Landon Morgan will get him there, and maybe it does because he does beat Landon Morgan in this match. So maybe he's looking at going for the world title again. And now we have the final match, Frank the Great Flores versus Dave England. And it's an all-time classic of a match, just like everything Frank Flores does. Dave England put up a good fight, but he cannot take down the Great One. So there we are. And that is D-Day. Frank Flores retains. And here is the Wrestling Spectator newsletter at the end of every month. I showed this. You can pause it if you want. I'm not going to be reading it, but if you want to keep in touch of what is going on in the rest of the world, there it is right there. All right, now I'm just going to be showing you the power rankings for this company. Slowly, you can pause at any point and see how people are doing, see their stats and their character sheet. Those are main eventers. And I know I said that I would be uploading every Friday, but this first week I'm uploading 2 episodes Friday. So I'm planning on doing one every Friday, but hey, if you're, if I miss one or if I upload more, who knows, it's not really a set in stone sort of thing. Sorry. But that is it for this week and this month in BWC. Next episode will be the next in line monthly event, and that is a tournament, and the winner of that tournament will go to face the champion at Clash of Kings.